What if I told you that for Black Panther 3, that Ryan Coogler only had to make one choice? And what if I told you that this choice would ensure that Black Panther 3 would have better numbers than the second one, maybe even comparable numbers to the first one? What would be this decision that would do that? What he needs to do is bring back Eric. That's what he needs to do. So my main argument is as follows. I believe that really, just even based on what happened in the first movie, that it would be very easy with the multiverse timeline in the MCU to easily just take Eric from a different timeline and drop him in Black Panther 3 as the new Black Panther. And I think that would really work in many ways because it would automatically cause a bunch of tension and confusion in Wakanda, which in of itself, there you go with a half an hour, 45 minutes of conflict, especially if you have an Eric from a different timeline that's a quote-unquote good guy. Now, if we get really, really sort of like deep into the quote-unquote message, and many people, there are people that didn't like the message of Black Panther, but Black Panther, the first movie, if you just watch it as is, Eric actually is the hero of Black Panther 1. And for many people, that'll sort of like trigger them. But even Boseman himself, when he was interviewed, said that the frame of mind that is created in the Black Panther movie, not the character in Captain America or Winter Soldier, but in the Black Panther movie, that features him in conflict with his cousin, he's not the hero. Because if you look at the actions of his father and you look at this whole idea of sort of like class and maybe unforgiveness, the way the movie is as it stands, the quote-unquote revolutionary, if you want, is Eric, who's kind of going up against the status quo. So that's the little bit as far as the message. But getting to why I think this would be a really good ploy, mostly like you could easily play into the whole multiverse thing. Now, you've already had Eric Killmonger in 2 of the movies. So, especially considering Ryan Coogler and Michael B are really very, very close, I think it's a very easy sell. In terms of that, I think it would also be a really easy sell in terms of audiences, especially with some of the recent really fame with one of their other ventures where they did really, really well recently in Sinners. But I think just even based on the first 2 movies and continuity of actually having the Killmonger character in both movies, that they should have him come in as either the Black Panther or one of the main characters in 3. But I really think as the Black Panther from another Wakanda, from another Earth, I think that would work masterfully.
Our pop said Wakanda was the most beautiful thing you ever seen. He promised he was going to show it to me one day. You believe that? Kid from Oakland running around believing in fairy tales.
I just wanted to go through 2 quotes from, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman about his character, and this is from 2018. This was picked up by Screen Rant. He said, "I actually am the enemy. It's the enemy I've always known. Its power. it's having privilege. And here's another quote from Chadwick Boseman about the very first Black Panther. Killmonger is trying to achieve greatness, but there's an expectation of greatness for me. I don't know if we as African Americans would accept T'Challa as our hero if he didn't go through Killmonger, because Killmonger has been through our struggle, and I, as T'Challa, haven't.
Good morning. How can I help you?
I was just checking out these artifacts.
We end tonight with a conversation with the director of Black Panther, Ryan Coogler. The movie opened this weekend to rave reviews and a massive draw at the box office. It's expected to bring in over $200 million this President's Day weekend. Here's Gail King.
Yeah,
Mr. Coogler, are you happy with the finished product?
I'm proud of the work that we did, for sure.
31-year-old Ryan Coogler not only directed but co-wrote Black Panther. It's the story of a young African prince who takes on the mantle of king and superhero,
My son, it is your time.
who now must defend his throne and country. The action fantasy film is set in Wakanda.
Maybe we can still heal you.
Why? So you could just lock me up? No. Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
So if you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you when I see you. So one of the very important things that I wanted to add is sort of like your extra bonus thing is that, of course, while the leitmotif, or really the main point behind a lot of the creation of the Black Panther universe is really sort of based in, an African conception. Wakanda, the word, is really an American Indian word, and the actual origin of that is with the Kansas Indians, which is quite interesting. So the conception of Wakanda is completely American to some respects, or in many respects.